Welcome to Of Sound Mind and Spirit. I'm Shelly.
And I'm Lisa. We're sisters walking together on a journey of faith. We're not perfect.
And we definitely don't have all the answers. We're inviting you to walk with us as we explore ways we can better know and grow in our faith together.
Welcome back to another episode from Of Sound Mind and Spirit. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Lisa.
So it is summer, officially summer. I think it's
Yes, it
summer
is.
everywhere, not just here in Texas.
Not in the Southern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere,
Oh,
it's
I'm
winter.
sorry. Okay. I was thinking US, but okay. Yes, you're right. You're right. Southern Hemisphere, it's winter. But it is officially summer. Maybe everywhere's not hot, but it's getting there.
It is getting there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's always a shock, right? Every year it's like, "Oh, this is Texas. It is hot." Yeah.
But not as hot as it will be in August.
I know. I know that's the thing. Like early in the summer, it's always surprising, and then by the end of the summer, we're like, "Oh, if we could only go back to how it felt earlier, it would feel so much better." So
I know, right?
today, something we're talking about I was at the library checking out books, and I noticed, I don't know if you remember this when your kids were little, they did the summer reading program.
Oh,
And the kids
yes.
sign up and then they check out books and they sign that they've read the little books. And then at the end, I don't remember how many books it is, like 20, they go back and they can get a trophy. Did your kids do that? My kids did that every summer. I have
So
so many summer reading trophies.
when my oldest was born, before she turned 1, we signed up. I worked in a library, and we signed up, and we read her all the little picture books, and we got her a little certificate that is actually in her baby
Oh,
book.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Now
I'm like
now
quite the
my youngest
overachiever.
no, he won't do it at all. He won't do it at
Well,
all.
he's a little older than when my kids did it. My kids did it like elementary school, preschool time. They just love those little trophies. But what I realized when I was at the library the other day was they're saying adults can do it. We can go earn our little summer reading trophy.
Mhm. Yes, you can.
You
I
don't
think
want a
that's
trophy?
popular in a lot of I am past the point of needing a trophy
I didn't
to,
say need. I said
sh
wanting a trophy.
no, I don't want a trophy. You know me, what I want is I want to check off all the books on my list.
Oh, there
That
you
does not
go.
require a trophy. I just wanna get them done.
But you could make the summer reading list, check them all off, and then get that little trophy to be like, yes, it's like recognition. I did it. No, just
But
me.
see, for me, that's my 12 books challenge.
Oh, but that's
I
that's not for the summer. That's just once a month, right?
yes, that's just 1 book a month, but we're talking today about our summer reading list
Mhm.
and the very ambitious list that we have each compiled that
Oh. Oh.
you don't think it's ambitious?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm reading all of the things we're gonna talk about. It's ideas for me. I don't set a list per se. I just
Okay.
come up with things. It's kinda like my Goodreads, like suggestions, you know? I will maybe one day read.
Sorry, as I was putting together which ones were on my summer reading list, my
You've
mind
got the
automatically
list.
went to, "All right, we gotta get it done. It's time. Okay, if I read this one this week and I can get this one from the library, and I've already got this one on my list, so all right, suggestions.
I
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's
Suggestions, yes,
suggestions.
no
I will put
pressure.
that in my
Stop
brain."
with the pressure. You need to go back to our episode on self-care. Stop with the pressure. No, I just we came up with so dear listeners, we are gonna talk about some like genres, topics to get you interested in summer reading, come up with some ideas because it does feel ambitious, right? Like, oh my gosh, I have these months and it's maybe I'm gonna go on vacation or go just have some more downtime than usual. And so I want to read and fill that time with because I love to read. Um and that, so here's some ideas, like genres ideas. So we're just gonna bat some things around. Some of them I've read, some of them I hope to read. I'll call it hope to read. Hope to read soon. And a couple I'm reading already.
I'm gonna leave you with that, so
Yeah,
these
because I
are I do have one or 2 that I have read already, and I do have a few that are already on my Kindle. So
uh,
since we're going on vacation, I don't wanna carry a lot of books. That's why they're on my Kindle. So,
Oh, that's so
oh,
smart.
yep.
'Cause it
Well,
doesn't
I
weigh
always
anything.
carry a lot of books and then I never read them. So at
I
least this, it's
Oh my
all on the
gosh.
same device.
I did that last year. I took 7 books on a 2-week
And you
vacation.
read them.
No, no, I read, like, 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4.
3 of them I
I
didn't
have a
read.
whole bag full of magazines and books, and I never touch
Oh,
them, so I've give up. I
I
just
like
gonna
to
keep my
read on the
books.
plane, so, and if I have downtime, that is my okay, let's get to the list.
Okay,
So,
well,
do you
since we're
wanna
talking about vacation, I want to start, and
okay, go.
I want to say a book that is set in a place that I would love to visit someday,
Okay.
and I actually have 2 of those.
Alright.
So because one wasn't quite the right place, if that makes sense?
Oh,
So
alright.
the book that is set where I want to visit is A Short History of Sicily, and I know you're gonna make that face.
I know, and like you said, a short
Oh.
history, and I'm like, "Whoa, history book." Okay, but I know that's you, so
Yeah,
that is very
yeah.
you.
It's only 86 pages,
Oh,
and
okay.
each chapter is broken out by the inhabitants of Sicily at the time. So you got like the ancient Sicily,
Oh,
the Greek Sicily, Roman, Arab, all the way up through the civil, Risorgimento, blah blah blah. So
okay.
I'm curious because our great grandparents are from Sicily.
Mhm.
I want to know more about the island.
That's awesome. I love that. So, what was the second one?
Oh, so it's a book I got on NetGalley that comes out in July of 2024.
Uh-huh.
It's called The Lost Boy of Santa Gioia. And no, I didn't write the author's name down. That was dumb of me. But it's set in Calabria, which I thought for a second there it was Sicily, and it's not. So it's the toe of the boot.
Okay.
And it's set in 1960. And it's described as a suspenseful puzzle mystery, a captivating romance, and an affecting portrait of a young woman in search of a meaningful life.
Ooh, I
And
like that.
I know, I picked it
Mhm.
up because of where it was set and the time
Mhm.
period and how it was described, but I started reading, like, the first chapter and I was hooked. So, it's definitely on my
Oh,
going to be read in June,
I might
probably
have
on
to
the
watch
plane.
for that when it comes out.
Mhm.
For
Yep.
me, when you say book set where you're vacationing or where would you would like to vacation or whatever, I immediately thought of last year. Um, I Our family traveled overseas and we spent some time in the Basque region of Spain because obviously if you've listened to our earlier episode with Clara, we had a foreign exchange student from Spain last year and she gifted me a book from that was the author is from her town, San Sebastian, and it takes place in the Basque region. And so it's called the Baztan trilogy, Baztan, and it's Dolores Redondo. And so the first book is The Invisible Guardian. I've read the trilogy and I've read the prequel. And it was so awesome to read. At least one of the books before I went because she uses a lot of the Basque language culture, references food, different things. So it was just kind of fun to have that touchstone when I walked, when you got there to already have like you're talking about Sicily, like have a little bit of kind of cultural background. It is a very I'm not necessarily going to recommend the trilogy to our audiences just because it is very if I don't want to say murder mystery kind of it can be very dark. It's a very dark
Mm,
kind of supernatural like in their mythology, the Basque mythology. So I know because we have a very primarily Christian Catholic audience and so you might not love it. But it was interesting to me to read
interesting.
before I went. Sorry, I had to give that little caveat.
No, no, that's good. And like you said, I do really love to read about places that we're going to visit for
Mhm,
exactly that reason. I wanna know the history of the place we're going into.
mhm.
It gives you a different sense of connection to it. So,
Yes.
all right, Lisa, what's, on your genre list?
Okay, so next I just had like what you would think of as chick lit, like girl fiction or a beach read. It's something I'll say fluffy. And I know probably not a lot of authors want to be included in this category. Maybe, I don't know. People look down on it. To me, a lot of vacation reading or summer reading is just, I don't want to say mindless, but like I just want to be have an experience kind of just outside of my everyday and just something enjoyable. It could be a romance, it could be oh gosh, a
Y
vacation
you
story, whatever. Just something probably not a murder
you know that
mystery.
that's called escape.
Escape, yes, escape reading. There you go. No, I hadn't.
Yeah,
I was thinking of a word, I just couldn't get it. So thank you.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
author that I've gone to a lot for that is Kristen Hanna. So she
Hmm.
wrote Between Sisters. I think she's got one out called the Great Alone. She's got one out called The Women. I think Winter Garden, Firefly Lane. Like she's written a ton. I've read a ton of her books over the years, and they're just well written, kind of fun reads for the most part. And there's message and stuff.
That's interesting. I've only read one of hers, and I didn't like it.
I know
So I
that's
won't talk about it.
the beauty of books.
I know, but it's fascinating how people can read things and have
Mm,
different reaction
oh
responses.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
why I
There's
like the
lots of
12
things you
books
read that I'm
challenge.
like, hmm.
Mhm. Because people give me books titles that I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'll try it,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
I'll try it, so.
You're much more willing to
Okay.
try than I am. I'm like, "No, I got too many books on my list I wanna read to try something new."
Well, I do
Except
like
for
being pushed
Basque,
outside of my
mythology.
I do like being pushed out of my comfort zone now and then,
Yeah,
so they're not
yeah.
the only things I read. Okay, for chick lit, I was thinking about this or a beach read. I would like to read more Irene Hannon. She is
Oh,
a
yeah.
fiction writer, and 2 years ago we met her, and I picked up a copy of book number 8 in her Hope Harbor series, and I
Mhm.
gave it 5 stars. I
Yeah.
loved it. Clean, romance, really gave you all the feels. Uh,
Mhm.
it's kinda like a Hallmark movie in a
Yes.
sense, but it's
Yes,
that
with a
same type of escapism.
solid Christian message too.
Right, right, and
Right.
so I read The Sea Glass Cottage,
Oh,
if
that's the
anyone
one I
wants to
read.
pick up that. So, I really liked it, and I would like to read more of her things. I have other authors if we have time for it later, so.
I agree. I read that book also, and I really enjoyed it. I'd forgotten about that one. I really did enjoy that. It was the first time I'd read, I would say a book like that,
Irene
and I
Hannon.
yeah, it was first time I'd read hers. All
Yeah.
right. For me, having the extra time, next on my list would be self-improvement. Yeah, I'm making a face. But really it's true because I do try to read. In fact, last year on my trip where I took 7 books, one of them was self-improvement. Um, so this year, my list includes I'm showing it to you. Your Core Strength, which is by Amy Connell, and Amy was on our podcast, back earlier this year. Um, and this book is great because it's more targeted to young women, but as moms of young women, there's just so much. It's young women's go-to guide for eating, exercise, and empowered health. And I love her messaging. I love the way she speaks to young women. I love this way she speaks to middle-aged women. And so I have picked it up and I am reading it. And just there's so much to learn and just such a
Did you you're bringing that one
positive.
on vacation? Did you say you're bringing that one on vacation?
No, it's too heavy.
Okay.
No, no, no.
You'll have to let me
Already
get it when you get done.
I've read a most of it already, and, my daughter and I were at her book launch, about a month ago. So I'm already started it. It's kind of an all summer read for me just to help me just, I don't know, do some positive self-improvement.
Even if it's mental, self-care.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, mine's a little different. I didn't go with self-care, but I chose, like, learn something,
Okay.
um, because you know me and the history background. So, I've got another book called Throne of Grace: A Mountain Man, An Epic Adventure, and the Bloody Conquest of the American West.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I know you're giving me that look.
No,
Uh,
I'm interested. Like, the title is very interesting. It's intriguing.
so now my go-to history guy is usually Nathaniel Philbrick. I love his books, but lately I've been reading these books written by a collaborative team, Bob Drury and Tom Clavin. I've been getting
Mhm,
them again on NetGalley, where you get
mhm,
books in advance to read and review. And I've read 2 of their other ones. I've read Blood and Treasure, which is all about Daniel Boone and the, conquest of the Kentucky, Tennessee region, which actually was more about the Indians than it was about Daniel Boone. But
mm,
and then I recently read Follow Me to Hell, which is about Leander McNally's Texas Rangers and the border wars and skirmishes. That was very interesting. Um, this one is about the adventurer Jedediah Smith and the mountain men who explored the American West frontier. I know nothing about Jedediah Smith. In fact, every time I say the word or the name Jedediah, all I can think of is the night at the museum where it's Jedediah, the little figurines in the exhibit case that come to life
Oh,
and they okay.
no, I mean, I remember seeing the movie, but, it's been way too long.
Okay. So, anyway, that's I can't so I love saying the name Jedediah. I think it's great. So, I'm looking forward to reading that one, and see how it goes.
Cool. When I am looking for new books to read, a lot of times I will pick up books that movies or TV shows that I've seen are based on. Which I know sounds backwards, right? Aren't you supposed to read the book before you see the movie or the TV show? But sometimes I'm introduced to the movie or I mean, I'm introduced to the book because it was based on I've seen the movie or TV show. Especially Netflix right now is really doing a ton of shows based on books. And so I way too long a list of all the things. But the series that I've picked up now, and it's not Netflix, it's BritBox. Um, so there's again, I hate to say murder mysteries, but I am a mystery girl. Cop dramas. So British shows, one of them is Shetland, which takes place in Scotland, and then uh Vera. Stanhope, and she's in Northern England, I believe. And so I've started, and they're by the same author. And so I've started reading the books that go along with those series because I've been watching the series for the last few months. So the first book in the Vera series is The Crow Trap by Anne Cleves. And the first book in Shetland series is Raven Black. So it's been, I don't know, I like reading them after I've seen because then I can just picture the character and I can, it doesn't track the books I mean, the TV show exactly, but it's just enough. So I like reading like that. So and I actually have one of them here. Right. If you're following me on Goodreads, you'll see that I am right in the middle of this book right now.
So I've already mentioned that I do a 12 books challenge every year
Mhm.
where I invite 12 friends to recommend to me a book that they've read and loved, and I have not read it. That's the caveat. I have not read the book. And sometimes that's tricky. Um, so one of the ones that came up that I have scheduled for the summer is Save Me the Plums by Ruth Reichel. She's a food critic, food writer, restaurant critic, and I've read one of her books before. I've actually read Garlic and Sapphires, which was all about when she went undercover as the New York Times critic, food
Oh,
critic.
you told me about that one. You really liked
Mhm.
that.
I
Yeah.
did. I gave it 5 stars. It's fabulous. So a friend of mine recommended one of her other books, and it's Save Me the Plums, and it's actually about when she became the editor in chief of Gourmet Magazine. Other than that, I know nothing. I know I loved her writing style. I
Mhm.
can't wait to read her stories, and, maybe I'll put another one of her books on the list next year. So,
I love that.
looking forward to it.
And that is always a good go-to when you don't know what to read is to find, and this is why I love Goodreads is because I can look and see what I've read before because I forget. But go to a book that you liked the author and you like the way they write. So like go to one of their newer books or maybe an older book you haven't read before.
Yep. And I do find I tend to gravitate towards some of the, young British fiction writers.
Oh yeah. And I've noticed that in your
Yeah.
stuff. Another one you could do, a genre or a topic would be a book you have read, but it's been a long time, maybe like an old
Mm.
favorite. Yeah, I was growing up, I loved everything Anne of Green Gables, by Ellen Montgomery. I think you remember
Mhm.
that I was obsessed with Anne of Green Gables, and someday I was gonna go to Prince Edward Island, and I still have never been. It is on my list of places to go. Um, but I haven't read the books in forever. So
Hmm.
that's actually I was thinking about that while we were preparing because I'm like, that is a book that I would love to read again.
That could even be on your TV shows. The's so many
Yes.
miniseries and things about. I did not read all of the Anne of Green Gables. I know I read the first 1 or 2. I
Mhm.
read her other series called Emily of New Moon. It's a
Yes.
trilogy, and I don't remember why, but she just totally captivated me.
I
So
remember that you really liked Emily. Yeah.
Is
Yeah, and if you're gonna watch the series, the one with Megan Follows is the one to watch.
that the earlier one?
Yes. Yes, the one
Okay.
when we
I do
were
love
we
that
were
one.
teenagers that came out, for sure.
It's fantastic.
Um, I did go through one summer reading that I read old classics that I had read in high school. So, in high school, they make you read all these books and I don't know, like, you don't always understand them because you don't have any life experience to draw from to read some of these books with these big themes. And so I went through one summer where I picked up a bunch of them and reread them. And let me tell you, reading Hemingway as an adult is very different than reading Hemingway as a 14, 15-year old.
Yeah, and I will say that going back and rereading A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens
Hmm.
is eye-opening. It's much better as
Hmm.
an adult than it was when we were in high school.
Interesting. I actually really liked it in high school. So I haven't reread it since. Yeah, that was one I really
Mhm.
liked. So who
Cool.
knows? All right. Do you have another genre pick?
I do. My last one is spiritual, and it's not my
Oh.
last book I can talk about, mind you, but it's the last one that I have a genre for, and that's spiritual. We talk
Yes.
about our spiritual reading a lot, but
Mhm.
I have a stack a mile high, but the
Yes.
one that is this is not a small group book. I've got one of those. This is not a Bible study. I got one of those. This is one on my Kindle that I picked up because everybody was talking about it, and I
Including
still
me.
haven't read it yet. Yes, including you. And it's This Present Paradise by Claire Dwyer. I don't even know what this book is about. Okay. St. Elizabeth of the Trinity. I don't know
Mhm,
who she is.
mhm.
So it's going to be a learn something book. It's going to be a spiritual book. It's going to be a recommended by everybody I've talked to book. Um, I don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna I loved that book. I absolutely loved it, and, it is a kind of sit with don't read it too fast, sit with and journal kind of book. So, it
Good to
it
know.
was it was a good book. It was yeah, and I'd never heard of St. Elizabeth the Trinity either. I can't even remember why I picked it up originally, but
Probably because somebody recommended it.
probably so, right? For me, spiritual book, I love to learn, and I really like to learn about the saints. And so one that had been on my list for a long time, that I have picked up that is on my list for the summer it's called Pray for Us: 75 Saints Who Sinned, Suffered, and Struggled on Their Way to Holiness, and it's by Meg Hunter Kilmer.
Ooh, I like the title of that.
And yeah, and they're short. They're short chapters. It's 75 saints. So short chapters, she groups them by um I would say
Sin and suffering?
topics. Yeah, yeah. Kind of but most of them I would say and I've started it and most of them never heard of before, which is so cool. I love learning about real people who maybe had the same types of struggles or different struggles that it just reinforces that whole it's never too late. We can all be holy. We can all, like you can do it. It's it's like an encouragement for me. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that it's not the same old ones you always hear about.
it's true. So I don't have another genre, but I do want to give a shout out to a couple of authors, fiction authors, not
Okay.
Christian, just that I really love.
Mhm.
Um, if you haven't read the book No Two Persons by Erica Burmeister, pick it up. Go look at it. It's a beautiful book. It is highly recommended, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's basically about a story that's written by one person, and that story each chapter is how that story changes or affects or touches another person. And sometimes the people are loosely connected, but not always, and it comes around full circle, and we end back with the author after a long period of time. So, Erica Burmeister,
Hmm.
No Two Persons.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on my Goodreads. Hold please.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding. Like, I'm gonna do it right now.
Do, do,
You keep
do,
talking. I'm
do,
gonna put that on my
do,
Goodreads.
do.
Erica Burt. How do you spell Burt? No to. What'd you
E
say it was called? No to.
No persons,
Okay.
Bauermeister.
Okay. Got it.
Bauermeister? I probably said her name wrong. Bauermeister.
It's fine. Okay. Keep going. I'm typing.
Well, the other British series that I keep reading a lot of is Jenny Colgan. That's my go-to where I need just a brain reset, something fluff, something easy.
Hmm.
She has the bookshop on the corner, the Christmas bookshop, the Beach Street Bakery. It's all the same. Girl wakes up in big urban city England, like London, or pick another one, I don't remember. And she's not happy with her life and everything's going wrong. And then something leads her to, I don't know,
Small
on a
town.
whim, buy a bookmobile or buy a van in Scotland in this tiny little town and open up a mobile bookshop library, a bookshop,
Yeah.
like a bookmobile bookshop. And then, of course, she finds a place to stay and she falls in love with the guy and she solves all their problems and blah, blah, blah. And
So it's
it's
like Hallmark in England.
I guess so. It's
Hallmark.
fun. It is a guilty pleasure to just
I
read
love
through
it.
those books.
I love that. That's perfect for summer fiction reading. I love that. And
And
like I
there's a
said,
lot of them.
when you find an author that kind of writes what you know you love, it's an easy pick
Comfort
that
read.
up and take it with you because nothing's worse than picking up a book on a whim. And I've done this how many times? And then you open it on vacation and you're like, ugh.
Those are the ones that you buy at half price, you leave them in the hotel lobby for somebody else, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I've heard of people who do that. I have never done
Mhm.
it, but I've
I've
heard of
done it at
people who do it.
VRBOs or Airbnbs or whatever. I've
Oh.
left books there. Yeah, I've actually
You
read
you
books while
just
I'm there too.
you just gave me a good idea of how to get rid of some of the books in my stack.
No, because then you gotta pay to put them in the suitcase and take them somewhere. Unless you're
Unless I'm driving.
driving. Yes,
Mhm, then I don't have to take them
yes.
back.
Well, I was gonna say I was gonna leave that as a tip is that if you're it can be books can get expensive. So, obviously, if it's an author that we love and adore, buy their books. But if it's whatever, go to half price books, go to the library. I read a lot from the library. And
Mhm,
sometimes um I'll put the books on a list. You know, you like get on the list to get it and like there's a book right now and I'm number 116 on the list to get the book because it's a New York Times bestseller. So it's almost like a surprise when they email me 4 months later and tell me that it's in because I forgot that I requested it. Um But don't forget the library. Don't forget half price books. Our library also sells books that have been donated as a fundraiser. So that's actually where I got a couple that I didn't really enjoy last year was I got them for 50 cents. So whatever, you know what I mean? It wasn't a big deal that I didn't like them.
yep. I actually have a Jenny Colgan currently on my library audio book. How funny is that, right? There you
Yeah,
see it, right there.
there you
So
go. And then don't overlook that impulse buy at the airport where you spend way too much for a book that's that's popular currently or what I have done that so many times. You see those books sitting there as you're
Mm.
walking through the concourse and you're like, "Who buys those books for like $25?" And you're like, "It's me. I've done it." Because suddenly it just looks good. Like
Kindle.
long delay at the airport, and I'm walking around. I'm like, "Oh, that looks good."
Nope,
So
nope, nope. Mine with the Kindles. You gotta mhm. I
I'm
love
old
my Kindle.
fashioned. I like actual books, which is why I have
Oh,
so
don't
many.
worry, I got plenty of those too.
I think we're prepared, right?
I think
For
so.
the summer, I think we're good. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yep.
I think
Okay.
we've covered enough. I mean, is that enough? Is that
I
enough to
think
get you
that's
started,
plenty.
dear listener?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, do you need a trophy?
I do actually. When's the
You want me to
last
get
time
you a
you got a
trophy?
trophy? Right?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I might have to go over to the library and sign up just for funsies.
Well, you do that, and then you can take a picture of you with your trophy. Are you gonna do it by the minutes read or the book read?
I don't know. Is that how you do it these days?
I I don't know.
I don't either.
It used to be by the books, and for younger kids, I think it was by the minutes.
I'm like,
So,
if the book's over 500 pages, do I get double? Just
no, you
just
don't.
wow. So no Robert Galbraith this summer because that's like 900 or 1,000 pages.
No, but another cool thing you could do if you wanted to, like, pick something and accomplish it, you could
Mhm.
check out all the Newbery Award winners.
Is those are
They're
like
chapter
the
books, they're middle grade fiction
oh,
chapter
okay.
books.
Okay.
They're like that
Okay.
4th grade through 3rd grade through, 6th, 7th grade, and they're
Ah.
some really, really good ones that are
Hmm.
older.
A little
Yeah.
easy to get through, huh?
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
interesting.
I love it.
Alright.
All right. So the question, dear listener, is what are you reading? What's your
What's your
plans for
summer reading
summer?
list look like?
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for being here today. We are so excited. We've obviously been it's been a little over a year since we've been doing this, and we are excited that you're here listening to us and um, hopefully enjoying the content. And let us know, what are you reading? Reach out to us on social media, Sound Mind and Spirit. Come over to our website or just email us, soundmindandspirit@gmail.com. And we hope to see you back next Thursday. Remember, new episodes every Thursday.
That's right. Can't wait to hear from y'all.
All right. Okay, Shell, which one are you picking up first?
Ooh, I think I gotta go back to that Lost Boy of Santa Chionia.
Yeah, that did sound interesting. I didn't put that on
Mhm.
my list. Okay, so when we get off, text me because I got to add that to my Goodreads.
Well, it
Okay.
doesn't come out till the end of July.
Oh, that's right. Oh, man. Okay.
You
Well,
can
remind me in
pre-order
July.
it.
All
Okay.
right. We will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.